Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Haydee. So I looked at a walkthrough on this game after much frustration just to see how far we are in the game, which is to say we're not really far at all. There is a lot of game here. It is pretty much the exact same thing. It's a lot of platforming and a lot of robots attacking you with very limited bullets. And honestly, you do get better guns that might help you take out enemies a little bit better, but there's quite the gauntlet you're going to have to go through to get to that point. And so that creates some bad news and some good news. The bad news is I cannot recommend Haydee as a game, as it stands, as a game worth playing. It's just too difficult. It doesn't implement checkpoints well enough for the one-hit kills you'll probably run into. The good news is there is a cheat out there where you can effectively just corrupt the outfit file, which specifically corrupts the ragdoll file, which is then used as like a hurt box. What that effectively does is it create a situation where, let's see, one of these outfits, both of which are named Haydee. I should have named it something different. Let's see, outfit, back, and load. So yeah, you can corrupt the file so that the robots can't hit you. You still will take fall damage, but then that makes this game really just a puzzle platformer with some fall damage and robots chasing after you, but not actually doing damage. I also don't think I fully explained that my understanding of this is that you probably can put items in this chest, and those items will be in other chests throughout the area. Let's see. So I may have not done this right. May not have done this right at all. There is a secret passage here, and in this dark secret passage there is a Haydee doll and a mine. The chests that we see that can't be opened, you need a crowbar for. I did also look at the outfits. Unfortunately, there are no outfits in this game that unlock for like beating the game or playing it multiple times through or getting some kind of achievement. There are fan-made modded outfits. Some of them look pretty good compared to this robot head and robot arms. Unfortunately, almost all of them are things that would almost certainly fall under the category of copyright infringement with no real fair use argument at all. I just don't think it would be a hard argument you'd have to make in case, which is the truth with any fair use argument, is that you'd have to go to court and prove it as a defense. But having, say, Princess Zelda or Linkle as completely replacing the model of the character doesn't make sense. Having some of the other female characters that are fairly well known, Tracer from Overwatch was one of them. Juliet from Lollipop Chainsaw is probably a good character that would match storyline wise in this game, and I suspect, if I was to just guess on an opinion, the creator of Lollipop Chainsaw probably would not be upset with a fan-made mod to put that character in this game, whereas Nintendo almost certainly would be upset to put a fan-made mod of a big-breasted Linkle character in the game. Right, every time we've gone through here, I've ignored this, so I'll drop down, and then we'll drop down some more, and that's some, I believe, Magnum ammo, if I was to guess, or pistol ammo. Okay, yeah, that is just straight up a shortcut. But it's a shortcut that only just takes you back. And you know what, that's probably a little annoying because that means twice there was pistol ammo in that area, I think. I have to put the gun away. So if I was just playing this game for my own self and not trying to put it on YouTube, I might consider, like Juliet from Lollipop Chainsaw. Lollipop Chainsaw, by the way, is working to have, I think, a remake made for PC. I think it's a remake. I don't think it's just going to be a remaster. And it's not on PC at the moment. I also said incorrectly, that Haydee 2 was in the works of being released. That is not the case at all. Alright. So, yeah. I screwed up on the cheat. Let me pause this recording, since I'm gonna have to load again, and fix that, and then I'll load back to where we were before. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The thing I did wrong is the instructions didn't tell you to change the name, so what I was doing was cycling between Haydee and the Haydee No Damage modified file, but they both had the name Haydee on it, so that's why that didn't work. Unless this game has been patched since that cheat was put out there, which is also a possibility, I suppose. One of the walkthrough suggestions as far as fighting did definitely go towards the idea of using the left and right switch more. Right. So like aiming from one corner and then aiming from another. This game is really dark, and part of the problem with it definitely comes down to you playing, I would argue, maybe half of the game in darkness. There is a section where you also have to deal with poison gas, and so that becomes a bit of a thing too. I don't know if I missed the other area. Although you never get anything that would like protect you from fall damage. So, yeah. In a section like this, you're left either deciding to fall or you're left deciding to jump. and unless maybe you're supposed to just run. Yeah, running there did not cause any damage to take instead of jumping up. Right. Let's make sure we're on the no damage outfit too. A lot of redundancy here in going the same place twice. Kind of knowing the story, it does seem to imply that Haydee 2 probably doesn't have the same Haydee character, or in part, visually, the model is way better, so it does certainly bring about a question as to why the actual creator of the game didn't plug in an outfit model specifically for the second character. Alright, so I'm gonna let this guy hit me just to make sure. Yep. So if I needed to save bullets, I would go pew 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 and pretend like I'm hitting them. Otherwise, we can now take out enemies like that at our own leisure. Enemies like this. So I will try to hit these guys fairly good. This guy does get staggered with 2 hits there. So I'm gonna basically try to have the game, play the game as if I don't have this advantage, but no longer are we going to have that struggle either where I'm gonna die just because of the robots. So also, as I was doing all this research, it's worth pointing out that the sensor toggle here is literally just for the keys. So on the keys there are pictures of naked human women, and the sensor just kind of blurs it out. There doesn't seem to be actual nudity around Haydee unless you get a custom outfit, and then yes, there will more than likely be actual nudity around the character model of Haydee. What I really wanted to see, though, as far as a fan outfit, or even a non-fan outfit, would have been to have an original creation character show up and be something of real intrigue, and we just don't get that. Also, you're not supposed to just climb down here, you're supposed to jump over there, which that's a fairly long jump, but I guess you can do it. And you are just in pitch blackness to get to a different room. Part of the problem, certainly, around this, though, is going to be potentially mines around any corner, which looks like that might be a mine. Maybe it isn't. And I think the ragdoll cheat will stop mines from blowing up on you also, or I'm hoping that's the case. Certainly part of the problem, though, is that if I don't have the walkthrough right in front of me, there really is a lot of lack of polish on this game, in that it really does need a map. It needs maybe a flashlight that runs out of batteries real quick. I'm trying to turn around so that I can not just have to fall. But I guess that didn't do any damage. Doesn't seem like you can really crawl down pipes anyways. Now we can see another robot. I sure hope I'm supposed to be here, otherwise I've just found a weird section. And that's the thing that's interesting about this game. It makes it hard to just move away from it completely, is that there really is a level of polish and effort that was put on this whole section. And see, this might be the black dark section of the game where I should not be. Alright. Bam, 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 bam. With that level of invincibility around you, you do just have a whole new level of confidence. Let's see where this door leads. 10 more bullets, which we can go ahead and reload. And then a couple of robots that honestly I just don't see. I really don't see how I would have been able to ever beat these guys. They move way too fast. Way too fast. Interesting. It seems like that toggled the door. Oops. And here's the problem here. I guess we gotta figure it out. So if I still take damage from mines, this will probably kill me. If I don't take damage from mines, it probably won't do any damage. Well, I guess shooting destroyed it completely. There's a pliers you eventually get that lets you disarm mines. This is another crowbar thing. And so we've now gone full circle. Like the way you would have done this normally is we would have been over here. We've got another door here. I guess it is just left to your own devices. you are asked, you can do anything you want here. Although we need some abilities. This is the room in particular that made me determine to cheat. Like, there are 4 robots in here. I have 2 bullets. And no melee. So, and no more bullets. So this room, I could have never really gotten through here. Even if I could have shot them all, which, let's just be honest, I really couldn't have shot them all. These guys are too fast, and I just don't move fast enough. And there is a point later in the game that also needs to be mentioned, where you have kind of infinitely spawning enemies. This is that room where we solved the puzzle. So your best bet is to jump this way, where you have a longer possibility of falling over, of not falling over shooting it. There is also definitely a situation where, oops, that was not my intention. Like, overshooting oh, what am I trying to say here? I lost. Yeah. I suppose there still is definitely a possibility that there would be areas that were just really, really difficult as far as the platforming. We're looking for key cards. This area needs the gas mask. And the game basically is telling you that you need the gas mask. We don't have a gas mask. So, unfortunately, I think I'm going to end up having to either work my way through the maze a second time, or do something different. I don't know if this door ever opens, but having 4 enemies in a hallway certainly is asking a lot. So to solve this one, we gotta come over here and hit that. But there might be a small achievement for solving this without setting off the alarm. I don't hate the idea of solving a room and then that creating a shortcut that, yep, that solved it without setting off the alarm once, and that didn't give me any special achievement. Yeah. Is it really beneficial to have the shortcut? I don't think it really is at this point, but in the future it will. This is an area that is blocked off, and if we were to go back this way, we're doing jump patterns and all of this, and yeah, we don't want to do any of that. So, is there a better way, or did we mess up? Yep, unfortunately I think I am just gonna have to see if I can look at the walkthrough. I'm not going to try and pause the recording every time. So you go through here, you get that. We did that, we did that, we did that. We did that, we did that. I think we did that. I think we did that. We were in the maze, certainly. Like that whole maze was definitely supposed to be a shootout scenario. Okay. So we are in the right room. But it seems like we need to go back into the maze room and head to a different area. So backtrack through the platform hub anyway is the instructions. Alright. So it does seem like the game kind of requires you to do this. Come back up here and enter through here. Nope. That's not the direction, that's just to the blue path. There's a lot of button pressing you have to do to climb down, and I feel like maybe just holding the B button would make more sense. Got another door there that will eventually probably exit a section. Okay. And then the question is it worth it to save? Probably is, but we'll be careful and avoid that. Right. So the walkthrough says climb up here, which I can't see anything there. This game is super dark. Is there even a setting to like adjust brightness? Nope. Yep, that's yet another thing that just points out that it's not quite a it's not quite where you would want it to be as far as a finished product. But at a certain level, I guess this also highlights I'm gonna potentially take some jump damage by trying to jump up here, I guess. So I guess that is a shortcut. Have we been in this room? There's another enemy. I can't help but suspect that these guys are bouncing into each other. Either that or this is making that sound effect as it's bouncing into something. Okay. So because we came around and we hit that, it closed a different path off. And so now we have a different... Like, have we been in this room? Nope. And I'm not gonna waste bullets trying to kill those other guys. So that is probably one place where you save a little bit of bullets if you can outrun the characters, but you're not really likely to outrun them. It's not really realistic without cheating. And I really do have to wonder, even for what little of this game we've actually seen so far. Ooh, there's a just screw you type fall off the ledge to your death. Like, there's no reason for that. There's a difference between making a game challenging and then just being completely unkind to the player. Yeah, I severely question how many people really would have beaten this game legitimately. So, look at our face now. We pick up that. We now are in total darkness. And so we'll go ahead and equip that. And now this is how you play half the game, with a infrared image, which there's some real weirdness in this game, that you would not have infrared vision built in, you wouldn't have body armor built in, the fact that you drown, it makes it feel like there's organic components to your body at the very least. There's really only one way down. And darkness as a gimmick is not something I would ever encourage people to have as a major part of your game. I can see minor sections with some darkness, and I can certainly see some tricks and surprises. But if you think about most horror games, you aren't just in complete total darkness. No, I'm just gonna look and see where I'm actually supposed to go, because particularly in the darkness, that's where this is gonna see, climb up here, climb up there, and then you take this, and then we're supposed to jump there and there, so we're actually in the wrong place. Let's get back to where we were then. The whole exploitation thing here also kind of falls apart in total darkness. So you can't even see the platform that I'm supposed to jump for. We did see this body. And then this might have been kind of just a signpost and you never reach that. And then we are now here, which then that lets you fall down safely. but I needed to actually jump up there. I just assumed I was going to be on the ground when everything was done. Yeah. Definitely does not feel like you would possibly have figured this out on the first try. This is a game where something like runner's vision would be very useful as a concept. And I say this is a pretty difficult jump, and I can certainly see why. And now my health is low. Certainly something like this could kill my enthusiasm for trying to make it to the end of this game too. Like, even if we are fully invulnerable to the robots and the mines, which I think we're invulnerable to the mines, we didn't test that, really. We will inevitably accidentally run into a mine. If I just am dying from fall damage and I'm still somewhat limited to so you're supposed to be jumping need to wait till the very last second until you jump, and you're supposed to be jumping at this point there, not this white point that you can actually see. That is crazy. And let me just make certain that you're supposed to jump across from there. Yeah. That's a pretty easy jump. Which they better give you a pretty easy jump after a pretty difficult jump. Somebody obviously was trying here. Once the lights are turned back on... It says turn off the night vision goggles so you don't get a headache. I don't know if this really would give me a headache, but I appreciate the thought, certainly. Climb back to the ledge at the top of the platform where we picked up the night vision goggles. Yeah, so often here I would have just assumed that I was just now supposed to leave and that you would enter these rooms. Particularly if there was a map, this would have helped me avoid that kind of stuff. Like, if there are other exits you're going for. And I'm gonna try and long jump this one too, just to be safe. Like, I would have 100% assumed that there was nothing else in this room and that you just could have never reached this character, and I totally was wrong. That looked like a fall that could have hurt me, but seems like it didn't. And yeah, I think I'm supposed to exit out through here. I'm really just following instructions to the letter. And still we have this. Right. So when I pause the game, the sound effects don't seem to pause. And honestly, it doesn't seem like the game pauses. Head straight through the door to the left in room B1. You might even consider going back and saving. I think we'd already done this. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if I'm going the right direction. The thing, the problem here is that there's just a lot of different places you could be going and a lot of different places you probably shouldn't be going. Right. So there's another instance of just a lot of people so there we have new bullets of some sort. Another crowbar chest, which I think that really highlights how the game is designed in a weird way, where you might want to come back. So we don't have a yellow key card to open this. And I don't think this is the right direction to have gone. Yep, this is an exit section that brings us back to the beginning. And if you clear out these rooms, I guess you're fairly safe. And yeah. This kind of is a great example, though, of a game that really should have just left things on the cutting room floor. Interesting that this character has an empty inventory. Like, if I was the person in charge of developing this game, I definitely would have thought around the ideas of cutting the robots and just saying, hey, either those are going to have to be chase sequences and we'll have one robot that chases you and stalks you throughout the whole game, or those are going to just be cutscenes, because we cannot have robots really attacking this character. It just doesn't work. They move way too fast. At a certain level, you could probably have cheated too, just make the robots do significantly less damage, or we'll get a better idea of where we're going to end up here. Like, you could have had them do significantly less damage, move really slow. Yeah, I don't think I can play any more of this game. It's a shame, but the save points and the checkpoints are just going to wreck you. I've literally just lost 47 minutes of progress. And yes, I could rush through it and try and recover it. There is no easy beat the game quickly and get to an ending. I can say also the endings are not particularly that interesting from what I've seen, what I saw in the walkthrough. So why is this door locked? Wow, I hadn't even made that much progress. Yeah. I had hoped that there would have been more safe spots, but there really aren't. There's very possibly only 2 or 3 in the entire game, and it's just not really doable. So, yeah. As it is, if you have to cheat to beat a game and you still can't beat the game, let's turn the sensor to false and just show that it doesn't really change your outfit in any way. Yeah, the censoring is in the key cards, and we don't even have any key cards in which I could dare to show that. Zoom common, closer, closest. We could look at that and just see how that goes. Although really, closer and closest is not really what you want. Like, you probably want close, and so that you could still see some of the screen. Yeah. This is a very shallow game, and so it's not really surprising that I don't have any deep, insightful thoughts here. I will say, just to spoil the endings, as I understand it, one ending, you kind of get to the end of this maze-like thing, and it turns out to all just be a simulation or experiment, and so you just get shut down, is my understanding of one ending. And then there is a different ending in a completely different location, because you have to have an orange key to get to the ending, where you find a kind of master Haydee character that's standing up and walking too, and she's surrounded by a bunch of other Haydees that are dead. So this is like the ultimate survivor Haydee, and you can either shoot that master Haydee and then you become the ultimate survivor, or you can place a mine down and you can do mutual destruction and get slightly different endings. And I think both of those endings were added in the remastered version of the game, which I assume is the only version of the game on Steam at this point. I might be willing, particularly if somebody were to gift me Haydee 2 instead of paying for it myself, because this game I think is a little expensive at $15, if I saw correctly. Let me just double check that as of recording. Let's see how much it is. Yeah, $14.99. That's a lot, certainly, to ask for this game. Your mileage will definitely vary greatly based on whether or not you enjoy a difficult game, but I imagine people that enjoy a difficult game are not looking for a character that is giant in bust size and butt size. I can't blame a creator for having a fetish and wanting to go for that fetish, but I can perhaps suggest that they think of the appropriateness as far as just the historical context of video games and whether a character like this is being best utilized in this style of game. Whereas if you look at something like Bayonetta, to compare that, Bayonetta is a high action game that can be very difficult at the higher difficulty settings, but also has a very easy mode and allows you checkpoints and save spots, so you never really are in major danger of not beating the game. Bayonetta has a whole face to her and a personality and characterization, whereas Haydee clearly is just a sex doll. Whether she is a robot or not, there doesn't seem to be any indication whatsoever that she wouldn't be a robot. Maybe in the second game, when she actually does have a head, she looks more like a human, so maybe she is a human in that one. Very possible you play as a completely different character in Haydee 2. But the core gameplay mechanic here just is not working for me without the checkpoints, without the save points. If I had just fallen to my death and a checkpoint in me at the door, that would have been fine. If I was deep into using something like Cheat Engine so that I could make my own manual checkpoints, that would be fine, but that's just not the situation. And my job as a video game critic is to give consumer advice, and I cannot in good conscience recommend anybody purchase Haydee 1. If you're big into big butts, there are adult games in the adult section of Steam that will show you more, way more, as far as big butts and big breasts. And there's free porn online, so as far as consumer advice, I would say take that, don't play Haydee. If you're into really difficult games, I would say play something like Dark Souls. There's plenty of difficult games and first-person shooters, third-person shooters out there that you can play. Maybe not so many with female protagonists, certainly, but there definitely are games out there, and most games have very hardcore modes, or at least hard modes, so generally just playing a more prominent, better game in the first place will do you better. And I can't imagine that there's actually anybody out there that's into playing games with hard saves and no saving. This is very possibly the same way I would in playing Resident Evil 1, because there is that same idea of not having checkpoints and having to save. And there's a lot of old games like that where they just aren't really worth playing. This is not an old game, so it doesn't have that excuse, though. So anyways, that's where I have to end this series. It's a shame, and obviously even at a game being kind of bad, which I think Haydee is kind of bad as a game, they put a lot of work into it, although there's still a lot of work that could have been put into this game. This wasn't just a low effort asset flip game that was only an hour long, but it definitely feels kind of half finished. It feels like they didn't have enough people testing it and giving feedback on it, and that they didn't expect it to sell outside of a small niche of fans anyway, so they didn't try to make it more polished. Yep. So yeah, no deep thoughts. The idea of exploitation in video games, which is again a terrible term to use, still highlights the same problem. Same problem with the game I played before this, the Vagrant. Seeing a bunch of butts in a game becomes very commonplace very fast, and it loses that special feeling, frankly. So I would much prefer something like Bayonetta, where if you are seeing more skin in a cutscene in Bayonetta, they're making a big deal about it. It is a special little treat. It's not constant and consistent. And certainly, if that's why I would never really enjoy playing any kind of game with like a nude mod in it, because the constant, consistent nudity would just become commonplace. And at a certain point, there's an old joke, which is probably too dirty to tell, but generally, if you're looking at porn after you've had the gratification, that's when you know you have a problem with porn, is the old joke. And so it kind of applies to video games too. If you're looking at butts after it stops being special, stops feeling unique, then you've gone too far. And with that thought, that's going to be it for this series. This one was just way too frustrating for me. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.